Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today I have for you a showcase slash tutorial on these new banners or flags, whatever you want to call them, that have been added into the game in the recent Snapshot. Now these things are incredibly creative. There is a lot that you can do with them. Obviously you can craft a whole bunch of different patterns, but there are loads of cool and creative uses for these things which I want to showcase in this video, as well as showing you all of the basics that you need to know to craft these flags. Now this also includes a world download in the description box as well, where you can get all of the dyes and all of the things that you need to craft these very conveniently using some command blocks. So what I'm going to do in this video is first of all just go over all the cool things that people in the Minecraft community have been using these flags for. So first of all, let's have a look at some of the most interesting flag designs that I've seen. This first one is a skull and crossbones on fire. That certainly looks very cool. The next one is just, a fiery looking sun. However, one thing to point out here is that the gradient where you can change the colours like this has been used twice. So it's yellow at the top and bottom, but slightly more reddish orange in the middle, which is a nice little bit of detail that you can add. This next one is definitely my favourite, is the apple in hand. You can see it really does look like there's just a frame and it's a picture of someone holding an apple in their hand, which is pretty cool. The next one is a flag. You can make lots of flags with these, which is no surprise because that is, of course, their main function. So that is the Union Jack. This next one is one that I made. It's just a symmetrical pattern. It's not the most interesting of things, but it does look cool. And so I thought I'd put that in there as well. You can, of course, add the Mojang logo. So I've put that on a nice gradient. And then this last one that we have here is just a simple looking bug at the bottom there. It does look like a bug, so I thought I'd show that as well. You can do certainly lots of creative things with these. So you don't just have to use them as flags, you can use them as detail as well. And this guy right here, he looks pretty hilarious, doesn't he? You can use these to make facial expressions. It's ever so cool. And of course you can change this up a little bit. That's a tip right there. Always middle click these when holding control to get the actual flag. You can put them closer together and make a smaller face out of that, which is really cool. So this next set right here are numbers. You can actually make all of these numbers in the game. Now I'm not going to be showing you how to make these individually in the video, but there are links in the description box to the Imager albums that will show you how to create all of these. So if ever you're looking to recreate something you see in this video that I haven't shown you, there'll be a link down below. So there you go, from 1 to 9 and 0 as well, you can create all of those and they are very clear and readable. This next one I really like. It is a pipe organ, and it certainly does look like one. And what we're doing here is we're actually having a flag at the top hang down over another one down below, and then that allows us to add a little bit of shape and detail to this thing, and it really does look like a pipe organ. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can create flags of the world. That's the most obvious use for them, so I thought I'd show you a few of the flag types you can make here. You can make a lot more than just these though. This is the United States of America, of course. However, I do think the blue is supposed to be on the other side. That's something that I've noticed right there. And then we've got the Brazilian flag, as well as the English flag, the Jamaican flag, the Japanese flag, and the German one on the end there. Now this next thing was created by Oliver, who is part of the Respawn network. He's an active member in our community, and it is very cool. It is a podium, and I really like it. You've got the flags down here at the bottom and the top, just adding tiny bits of detail. And then you've got more flags stacked up behind the wall at the back, and to just kind of separate this front bit from the thing behind it. It really does look very cool, and you could certainly picture some people standing up here on the podium giving a speech or something like that. So next up we have some chess pieces. We've got the rook or the pawn at the front, and then you have some of the other ones. I'm not sure of all of their names. You've got the knight, and then the queen and the king as well. So you can use this to play a game of chess with your friends as well, which is awesome. Now this next one has a few details in it. You can see we've got a nice looking room over here. We can use the flags as curtains. They certainly look really nice. We can also use them as bed rests. Now the way that this works is you just have the flag down below. So we've got a red flag, and I think I said bed rests. That doesn't make any sense. They're used as pillows, as you can see right there. So you've got a bed to rest on, and it's got a pillow. Over here we've also used it as a printer as well. So we've got a half slab with the flag coming through the top, and it really does look like a printer with some paper in it. We put a couple of white flags over here just coming up through the block, and they kind of look like hand towels, like maybe they're on a little bit of a rail and just hanging off there so you can grab them. But those are the details that we've put into that room right there. And then last of all, you can also use these with item frames as well. So we've got 3 different flags where we've just used an item, a standard block. I think that one's quartz and this one is clay. And if you have that right behind the flag, it kind of comes through it, so you can add a tiny bit more detail if you need it. And also, we've got some ice lollies right here. When you put them in the item frames, that is what they look like. You've got a pink milk one on this side and a chocolate one on that side over there. Now that we've seen some of the cool things we can do with these flags, it is time for me to start the tutorial, show you the basics about flags, as well as going through all of the different crafting recipes for dyeing these with different colours and patterns. So let's start off with the crafting recipe for the flag. It is simply a stick with 6 blocks of wool above it, and if you choose a different colour block of wool, then you're going to get a different base colour on your flag. Now these things can be placed down in 16 different directions. This one is in line with the axis. There are then 3 rotations before the next one, which is in line with an axis, which means 16 in total, as well as an additional 4 because you can place these on the side of a block as well. Now these things have a 1 block hitbox, which means you can actually put another block above it like that without breaking it, or below it if it's on the side of a block as well. Now these things are like signs. When you place them, they can be attached to the one before it. However, if you break the first one, it's going to break all of them and they are all going to fall down. Now these things can't be pushed by pistons. The piston doesn't extend. It's not like it breaks them, they just completely block them, which is interesting, not what I expected. However, if you've got one like this, you can see the hitbox for that is actually above it, so the piston will extend when it's below. Now you can also clone these as well, so if you spent a load of expensive materials on getting this, and by the way, if you middle click it when holding control, that's the way you actually pick up the one that you want. You can clone these in a crafting bench, so you can save all of the expensive materials and dyes that you put into creating one of these just by putting it in the crafting bench like that, and you can see we've now got 16 of those. Now we can also put these into a cauldron as well, and when we do that, the last layer of dye is removed. So if we just take this one and get the next one each time, and then you'll be able to see how this one was created. So we started off with a white, we put a gradient on it, then some brown at the bottom, some blue in the middle to the top, and then we put in a red star, a blue Mojang logo, and last of all a yellow border. So that was all of the crafting recipes, and there are just a few more things that I need to tell you. First of all, when you do this gradient crafting, you can do it several times over and it will get stronger and stronger like that. And also with these patterns that we have down the end here, this is a shapeless crafting recipe, so you just need to put the 3 ingredients together, and if you don't put a dye in there, the pattern is simply going to come out black, so you can use a dye to add some colour to that. Now you may have been wondering, do these things get broken by water? They do not. You can see it's holding back the water. They also don't get set on fire. I've had this fire and lava here for some time and they haven't caught on fire yet. And also you can't use this as fuel in a furnace, that does not work. And there is one thing that I forgot to mention earlier. When you're cloning these things, you need to have the same base colour. So this thing right here has a blue base colour, so let's put that into the crafting bench. You can see with that one we can clone it, however if we put in the white one we're not going to be able to do so. So just a reminder, there is a world download available in the description box. There is also a bunch of links to the Imager albums where I found all of these cool things that I showed you in the video, including the numbers, which has a tutorial as well. But that is going to be it from me this video. If you have enjoyed it, please do leave a like. It will always be appreciated. And if you are not subscribed and you enjoyed this video, then please do consider subscribing. But that is it from me. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.